Hello there and welcome to another episode of Gotham Talk. This time I'm talking about episode 16, which is called The Blind Fortune Teller. Yeah, bit of a mixed bag, this one. I remember the first time I saw this, I really didn't like it at all. And it's mainly because of this character of Jerome. I have trouble accepting this guy as the Joker, or at least I did the first time around. I will say I've warmed to it a bit more watching this episode second time around. First time I saw it, I thought his performance was well over the top, really hammy, and it caught me off guard. It took me by surprise, the kind of the change in it, and I felt like they were pushing it a little bit too hard. Second time round watching it, I actually feel like, there are more subtleties there in his performance than I previously gave it credit for. That being said, is this guy going to be the Joker? Are they setting this character up to be the Joker? I don't mind all the backstories for all the characters, but if there's one character that I don't really want to see a backstory of, it's the Joker. Not knowing his history, for me, it adds more mystery. I know we got the Alan Moore story, A Killing Joke, and that did show quite a lot of who he was. But that was enough. And I don't really feel like we need to go back and dig deep. I'm still mixed. I still have mixed feelings, to be honest, on that character in this episode. I'm willing to see where they go with it. Like I say, I've not seen anything from any seasons after season 1, so all I have is this to go on. The comedy, they try real hard to kind of inject a lot of comedy in this episode, primarily, well, really only between Gordon and Leslie. A lot of it works primarily because of the chemistry between Marina Baccarin and Ben McKenzie. Like I've said before, I think the chemistry between these two actors is fantastic. But a lot of it feels forced from a writing and directing standpoint. Maybe they're just trying a little bit too hard. There are 3 other little kind of stories going on, really. We've got Fish Mooney in the prison and what she's doing and how she's taking control of the situation there. We've got Penguin, who should be trying to get his bar that he's running for Falcone, the bar he took over from Fish Mooney. He should be getting that up and running, but he's not succeeding at all. And then we get Barbara. Barbara Keane kind of comes back to the apartment to find Ivy and Selena there. And they have a bit of a chat, which is random. Oh yeah, there's another storyline, actually. My favourite of the episode, which I just completely missed out, which is Bruce Wayne tackling the board, going to the board of directors and owning the room, basically. All these adults all looking at him, treating him like a child, and he just, not having any of it. He's well prepared. Even though when he opens his notes and he has his questions ready, he's got all these doodles at the top. Not your kind of conventional child doodles, but things like demons and things like that. Yeah, obviously a very troubled mind, but also a very brilliant mind. You know, that scene really does a fantastic job of conveying who Bruce is in that regard at this age. Loved that scene. Thought it was brilliant. The way he handles the people in that room. And David Mazouz in that scene, spot on. Absolutely spot on. That was my favourite scene of the entire episode. But like I say, the Fish Mooney stuff, there's a point where she gives this big speech to rally everyone behind her, and it's a little bit cringy. I think Jada Pinkett Smith does the best she can with that, but it's one of those kind of awkward Braveheart type speeches, which you've seen in a lot of programs and stuff, and they always feel a little bit, I wouldn't like to have to do that as an actor. But I also don't quite buy the level at which she gets people to support her, because there's this one moment when, I mean, she's told everyone in this cavern, look, some of you are going to die. If you do what I say, some of us will get out, but some of you will die. All right? So she's upfront about it. She's truthful about it. But then we see this scene that comes a little bit later, in which this guy essentially takes a beating, and it looks almost voluntarily. But I would kind of imagine that that guy in that situation played his bets, basically, and made the bet in his head. I would imagine that he wouldn't be the one who gets picked. He wouldn't be the one who is called next to go out. So that's why he agreed to go with Fish Mooney's plan. But the moment the guns were turned to him, the moment his name was called, and then he had to step up to the plate and essentially die for the team, die for everyone else, so that Mooney and the rest of them could make this statement. I don't buy that he would go so willingly with that. I think there would be a bit of kicking, bit of screaming, a few tears. You know, I think that'd be the moment when he'd have regrets, and it doesn't really show that. So I think, so it's not necessarily Mooney's plan that I have trouble with. It's more how they represented it. I think once this guy saw it coming, he'd have had second thoughts, and they should have shown that. But they don't. So I just don't buy that he would go that willingly. So I'm not fully engaged with that part of the story. Penguin as well. There's a few elements in that I'm not. A lot of his scenes just seem to kind of meander. They're just like, oh yeah, there's Penguin. They're just reminding us that, you know, he's not doing a great job at this club. There's a little funny moment in which he kills a guy off screen. You don't see it, but yeah, it's mildly amusing. And then there's bizarre scene when Butch Gilzine comes back. Victor Zsasz has basically tortured him. From, you know, we've not seen any of this, but we gather he worked on him, as Zsasz says. So he's done something. He's messed this guy up so that he's basically a lapdog. Butch will now do whatever you say, and Penguin tests him on that and tells him to dance, and he does this little dance number. It's all just very bizarre and very. Yeah, I don't like seeing Butch in that position. You know, I feel like, yeah. I don't know. I guess because I like the character, it just, again, it's another cringy moment for me where I'm just like, oh, really? They're going there? Okay. But yeah, that's it. So. Yeah, the Barbara Keane stuff as well. Again, it kind of feels like filler. It kind of feels like, what can I say? So this isn't my favourite episode, obviously. I actually think so far this has been the worst of the season. It just does seem to meander a lot. There are entertaining moments, as there always are. Like I say, the chemistry between Gordon and Tompkins, that scene with Bruce, absolutely brilliant scene. And also Bullock, you know, he's not in it a lot in this episode, but he does get a few little moments to shine. There's one bit where, again, he just cracks me up. The way he figures out that Gordon has had sex the previous night actually does show his detective skills. You know, his reasoning, how he figures that out. But it's just, again, the way he delivers it, it's just classic Bullock. Really funny. Steals the show, steals the scene. So, yeah. I'm going to give this a 2.5 out of 5. If I gave it a 3, it'd be a very weak 3. So I think, in all honesty, a 2.5 is probably more realistic. It isn't a bad episode in this. You know, it's not terrible. I feel it's a little bit all over the place, and I just wasn't enjoying a lot of the elements in it. So yeah, there you go. What about you? Have you seen this episode of Gotham? And if so, what did you think about it? Comment below, let me know. And until next time, crack in.